Now, months after the last of the United States 1-cent coins were pressed, Americans are experiencing a penny shortage. It's forcing businesses and consumers to confront a future where making exact change could be difficult. CBS News reporter Kati Weis joins us now. Kati, some states are actually starting to offer their own 2 cents on the penny problem with new guidance for cash purchases. What can you tell us?
Sure. Well, the U.S. Mint actually discontinued making these little copper coins because they actually cost more to make than what they're really worth. And so now what we're seeing months later after that discontinuation is essentially a patchwork quilt of many colors, if you will, when it comes to various policies or legislation on how to deal with a world without these little copper coins. So we're seeing some states actually now creating their own legislation on how to round up or down. Some retailers have created their own policies in the meantime, but right now there are several bills that are awaiting governor signatures in Arizona, Florida, Oregon, Tennessee, Virginia, and Washington that would all handle how to deal with penniless cash transactions. And in Indiana, there's actually a bill currently that's about to be signed into law that's supposed to go into effect this Sunday that would make rounding up or down completely optional. There's a very similar bill also awaiting a governor's signature in Tennessee that would also make rounding optional. Here's what one Tennessee lawmaker had to say about that.
The reason is it will provide private companies with safe harbor from liability under the Consumer Protection Act of 1977. That's because companies can say we're adopting a rounding procedure that is in Tennessee code, and so we're not liable.
Having some guidelines helps because you don't really know exactly what to do, what not to do.
Now, the Treasury here actually says that ceasing production of these little pennies will save about $56 million annually. Liz?
Yeah, that's a big number, Kati. What about the states, though, that don't set guidance for rounding? I mean, will consumers just end up paying more?
Sure, it's a valid question, absolutely. Well, the Federal Reserve says in a statement that retailers should continue accepting pennies and providing penny change for cash transactions as long as the coin is still in circulation. And when penny change is not available, businesses may round the final amount of cash transaction to the nearest 5-cent increment, recognizing that some states will take their own unique considerations. Now, the Treasury also wrote online that prices should be rounded down or rounded up. Essentially, it'll all come out in the wash, that it'll come out equally. And so consumers shouldn't expect to see too much of a difference in how much they're paying for goods. However, in a 2023 survey conducted by the Federal Reserve, it did find that ultimately overall prices are often rounded up more often than they are rounded down. So consumers could expect to spend a few extra cents in some of their upcoming transactions if they do plan to pay with cash. And if you're wondering who still pays with cash at all, that was my biggest question. About 8 in 10 Americans, according to a 2024 survey from the Federal Reserve, still pay with cash. Liz?
Oh, yeah. My dad always tells me, always have cash in your wallet. You never know when you're going to need it. But as for those pennies, we should start collecting them because in 10, 20 years from now, they might be actually worth something. They're going to be collectibles. That's a pretty one. That's a shiny one. Definitely keep that. That's right. Keep it. All right, Kati, always good to see you. Thanks so much.